is CEMTV. Reliable news and entertainment.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting every voice.
A beautiful morning to you and welcome to CEMTV Surgery, where we take you to the surgical room and do that which is necessary and get you healed. My name is Barry Swar Christian Winger, and today happens to be the second day in the month of July 2026. We'll be bringing the world and Nigeria to your doorstep. I'm not doing this alone. You should know I have this handsome man lined up here. It's just like Barry, so I just make a peek. But by my left is Mr. Francis. He has the ever dashing caramel cream like milk, I call him. Mr. Francis, good morning to you.
Good morning, Barrister.
How are you?
I'm doing good, and you're looking beautiful
Thank
as
you.
always.
I love
And
your tie. T for thanks for doing.
trying to compliment the blue, but
Ooh.
it's a beautiful day, and I still like to say a happy new month to you. And thanks for joining us on Sam TV News Surgery and being part of a fun and growing community. Today is day 2, and for me, the atmosphere is that of Thanksgiving, because I've had to consider January all the way to the 30th of June, 6 months in the year. I know there are people within my corner, 1 or 2 persons that I started this year with that are no longer with us. And that alone is enough reason for me to, be grateful and appreciate God for myself and the people around me who are still breathing. And it's also a reason for us to appreciate God as well, because it's not because we're better than them. It's not because you are holier. It's not because you praise and worship God more than the people who are not still with us at this moment. And then, of course, it also gives me reason to, dream more and work towards achieving those dreams. Yeah.
All right, good morning, Francis. Over to you, Mr. M.I., the king of that. Like Francis usually call him, but I call him not the caramel, but the black diamond. Good morning to you, Mr. M.I.
Oh my gosh. You're also looking in a dashing blue this morning.
you.
Looking like the skies, beautiful bright skies. All right, so we are here to dissect everything that has happened so that you can make sense of each and relate with each item reported today. My motivation for you today is just having certificates alone wouldn't feed you, but your skills will. So don't just acquire educational certificates and pass exams. Solve problems to be relevant. You're welcome.
Solve problem to be relevant. I mean, we're all here to solve problem in this world, right? And be happy at the end of the day. I have a guest in the studio with us, and his name is Henry Temitope. The other name I'm struggling not to matter, so we'll leave it that way. And he's a seasoned educator with background in communication. Good morning to you, Mr. Henry. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so today every other star is lined up, but first we'll be looking at the education sector, where the federal government, the president, says he wants to reform the NYSC core, okay, and also move from changing JSS class, which I know you attended, to SS, but merging them together. And that's how we'll have our guest as an educator. Today, we'll be dissecting this topic and other stories lined up from South Africa, where armed white South African men versus unarmed South African men too in combat. And I'm wondering who will save them at the end of the day amidst other stories coming your way. But let's go over to you, Mr. Henry, this morning. Talk to me. What's your stand on what Mr. President is saying about reform and NYSC?
Okay, so let's begin with the NYSC reforms.
Okay.
Yes, this is a scheme that was introduced by the then government of Yakubu Gowon in 1973. It was a very beautiful scheme. You know, it was intended for, nation building.
I hear you.
That was the intention of the scheme. And truth be told, as a Nigerian, I have been around for as long as necessary. I'm young, but I've been here, and I've watched the trend. I've seen how things have evolved from what it was intended for, what it was created for,
Right.
to what it is now. The scheme has been bastardized.
How so?
I mean, from administrative problems to insecurity issues. You and I know, what couples are facing now. These are issues that have to be addressed, and I'm sure that is what has led the government of the day to want to reform it. I welcome the reform, but there are other questions to answer about the reforms. Can the reform be sustained? These are questions to want to answer. So, a beautiful scheme that started back then in 1973 has grown into something else. It is no longer what it was designed for. It was designed for nation building or nation building through civic service. But now it's not. It's a shadow of itself. It's been bastardized. It's no longer what it's supposed to be. There are a lot of malpractices going on in the national service scheme, and you and I know. So the reforms, reforming it is very much is something that we should. In fact, is long overdue. But how so? Can it be sustained? Can we achieve it? This is Nigeria, and you and I know the things that go on here.
All right, can it be sustained, and how long will it stay? I like to get a video so you can see, and after that we'll really dissect this topic. Studio. Okay, so still on this, I would love to ask Mr. Francis, what's your take on NYSC reform, given the fact that it's going to be 6 weeks now, no longer 3 weeks, as it should be in camp, and they're taking the military out of the camp. It's now going to be handled by civilians, and Mr. President also says he's going to introduce skills, so when you're out from the service you won't be jobless or you won't be job hunting. What's your take on that? Is he a step in the right direction? Is it necessary at this time in Nigeria?
As a guest have said this morning, I like to join him. I have been one of those advocating for NYSC to be scrapped because it's no longer serving its purpose, the purpose for which it was created for. And if you've served in any of the NYSC camp in Nigeria, especially up north, you would see the disparities, the discrepancies, you see the injustice within the system. And then you ask, if we intended for NYSC to build national unity, how come we're not seeing that being exemplified in the activities of the orientation process? When we send people from the south and from the east up north, their lives are, they become endangered species. But from northerners coming to the south and the west, they live a carefree life. You know, they're given the best of opportunities, they're treated as they should be treated. But people are harassed, In some states, girls cannot wear trousers, they cannot dress normally because they're being forced to act like they're Muslims. In a country that we're supposed to have freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of movement, they are hindered. But we don't see concrete steps being taken by the government. How many core members have been kidnapped and their families have ended up being the ones paying ransom while the Nigerian federal government and the NYSC corps sits back and watch the family suffer? At the end of the day, the Nigerian student, the Nigerian family who spend their hard-earned money training their children are the ones, in danger here. And then looking at some of the reform, items that they've mentioned, 6 weeks extension of combat, and I asked, what can be learned in 6 weeks? Even the last thing as baking cannot be learned and understood in 6 weeks.
Maybe liquid soap will work.
You cannot learn liquid soap and understand the nitty-gritties of, perfecting the art of making proper liquid soap in 6 months or in 6 weeks. It takes time. So I have a big problem with some of the reforms. One, on the extension of the parade times or the calm days from 3 weeks to 6 weeks. Two, you're removing the only security background that gave core members some leverage and putting them in the hands of civilians. It was a different scenario when everybody knows that the military is directly responsible for core members. It was a different scenario when core members were synonymous with the military. So that uniform alone makes the security operatives on the road know that you are part and parcel of them. And it gave some leverage to core members while traveling Nigerian roads. Now you're taking that away. You're removing the military leadership. You're removing the military structure. You're removing the military security.
Also changing the NYC uniform.
So when you remove that, it means you're reducing the core member back to the ordinary citizen status, which is not supposed to be. So it's like in the West when people are conscripted into the military from the ground process. It doesn't change the fact that these people are in school. So if you're now taking that away from core members, it means their safety, their security is no longer guaranteed. Forget about the window dressing of saying, oh, but the military will still be responsible for the security. Is the military not responsible for our collective security in Nigeria? Are we not being kidnapped and slaughtered on a daily basis with the military still responsible for, the protection of our internal and external sovereignty? So it's a crazy, step. There are a few things that I might say, okay, the change to drive skill set priority within the NYC training and orientation period. These are welcome development, but major areas that should have been dealt with have not been dealt with for me.
All right, we'll take a quick video from the studio and we'll be right back. Stay here, I'm gonna wear.
Operations with other ministries and DAs. The memo is being brought forward to the Federal Executive Council, and I'm happy to tell you that it has been approved for the reform of National Youth Service Corps. For over a decade,
Okay.
1973, that this scheme has been funded, created by the country for national unity and after the Civil War. 53 years later, part of the reform of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the reforms have led to a lot of ways which have incorporated the Ministry of Youth and even the youth itself to put together an half of a century review of the challenges the NYCs are facing. And these have addressed the issues of Ministry of Youth Development, Ministry of Education, and also the Office of the Special Advisor to the President to work together for the development of the reform framework. The goals are simple and straightforward. We want to build an NYC out of just mobilization of program. We are looking and working for the strong partnership for skill development, job creations, possibility, and national growth. The key reforms are stated clearly to put a call of data in digital way and a self-development core members for security and also.
And there you have it. That video is for the proposed change of NYC coming from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approval. But I'd love to ask Mr. MI this question. What do you think the 6 weeks in camp will do for NYC core members? Will it be able to give them the kind of skill that will land them a better job or businesses? Or are there going to be grants when they are done learning after camp session?
When I heard of the reforms to include entrepreneurship training, I was a little comfortable with it for the whole year. Or I don't know whether that entrepreneurship training and the other skills acquisition training will last for a whole year or just that 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
If it's just that 6 weeks, well, in training you have primary, secondary and tertiary training. And if you adopt tertiary training, it means you presume and assume that the person already has the foundations. So what you are doing is just to fine-tune, you know. So maybe that's the presumption, that these guys have gone to school at different levels, they've acquired different knowledge and skills in different fields. So what we are trying to do now is, maybe if you say, I want to become a soap maker, okay, in 6 weeks, I want to become a dressmaker, a cobbler, a salon hair groomer, okay, in 6 weeks, with intense practice, it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, we also take into consideration, the teacher will tell, or educations can also confirm. In training and educating people, they have different capacities. There are fast learners and there are slow learners. That's how we are told in education. So you must also always factor them in. So if you ask whether it is possible, what can you achieve? It is possible. There are some fast learners that can catch up some skills in 6 weeks. But there are also the slow learners that will, even after that even if you train them for 1 year, may not be enough. So I hope they'll factor that in. But again, on the longer run, my perspective to that, maybe when we also talk about the 6334 system that was also scrapped, is if after going to school, made a first class, and you come out into the society, you cannot, in terms of skill, be economically adaptable, applicable in the system to be productive, then we haven't achieved it. So that's for me what I want to see.
Okay.
Okay? Not just the 6 weeks, not just for programming sake, for reform's sake. Okay? Just to say, okay, we have done something to modify the system. No. But I would like to see hands-on practical results. Even that 6 weeks, let it be intensively based on practicality, what you can do.
I hear.
Not just orientation.
All right, Mr. Tamitoko, I feel that this NYC thing, the 6 weeks is beautiful, but do you think, as an educator, a student will be able to learn a skill that will land he or she a good job to face the present day economy in Nigeria? You think 6 weeks is fair enough? I was thinking maybe just leave the 6 weeks, let it be 3 weeks, and the 1 year you teach them a practical skill that will sell them with grants to go into the future. That was my thinking. But what's your thought, though?
You see, there's a big problem here. If somebody sits in the comfort of his home, comes up with a policy, comes up with an idea that one person or his friend has sold to him, he comes up with it as a template and then he pushes it. Now, before you can come up with certain policies, you have to think deeply. You have to check, make sure there's a balance. As somebody who is in this field, as an educator, there's a process in learning. 6 weeks is highly insufficient to grasp certain concepts, internalize them, explore. 6 weeks. There's something called learning preferences. There's a way every individual prefers to learn.
Sure.
Some people are visual learners. They learn by just observing, they see. Some people are auditory. They hear.
And they learn.
They hear. Tell them stories. You catch their attention. You never lose such learners. Some people are kinesthetic learners. Set a project. Get them in teams. Get this project done. You catch them. If you do the auditory alone, you lose those set of learners. If you do the visual alone, you will lose them. So as a teacher, I speak from the angle of a teacher, and to the best of my knowledge, 6 weeks is absolutely insufficient, because you cannot capture every category of learner within this premise. I mean, skills. You want to teach a person skills, so you need to put all of this into consideration. That's why I say some persons just sit down. As a minister or whatever, of youth, whatever that you are, you just sit down, you conceive an idea, or someone tells you, it's good,
it's brilliant,
it's beautiful, but how do you push it? You need to consider a lot of things. I'm afraid that these reforms will even do more damage, than what we, in fact,
what we used to be.
Less. For me as an individual, I don't mind a complete scrap. Let's just get this thing off.
And why is the off?
Get it off.
Get it off.
Let me also add to while you were asking the question, he was responding. I remembered something. Another challenge with this NYSC scheme that is also not far from our educational system is the industrial aspect.
That's right.
From my studies, I discovered that China and several civilized clients, like Europe, the Americans, where it is working, is the industry must be in tandem, must cooperate, must be in relationship with the educational system. Because basically and essentially, what are you doing? You're training people, you're building human capacity, because it is the life of every country to solve your societal challenges. So you must apply them into industries, to productivity. So while you're also focused on reforming the education system, NYSC, you should also focus on reforming or enabling the industrial sector. And that's why you find in the civilized climes apprenticeship and internship as you are in year one. At times where in Nigeria, I experienced it. Once, even from I went to government crafts, I went to government comprehensive, where we had technical, we had engineering, we had the what they call it, technical drawing, we had mechanical, we had woodwork. So we were privileged to do that's what they call it, comprehensive. We had commercial. I did typing. Now, when I also went to government technical college, from I think year 1, year 2, or so year 3, you attach to an industry. You go there, whatever trade you're in, you do the practicals from secondary school. So by the time you get to your senior secondary, the same thing, you do it again. And then finally, so at every phase you're going into, if you're good enough and they see your potentials and talent while you're on industrial attachment, they take you. They take you. There's somebody today, one of my classmates, I think a class below me or so, in comprehensive. Ajip Oil Company took him from his year 1 or so in university because he was so good. The one he went for attachment, they saw his potential. He made first class. He went to Italy. He made first class.
And they picked him.
Till today, they've not seen his backside. Okay, that was the good thing. So that's the idea. As you're coming, it was struggle. Naturally, there was opening, but today, where are the industries? Why? Because the environment, rather than enabling them, is suffocating industries. So for me, it should be a holistic review.
Exactly.
What is it? So today we don't have a problem with churning out graduates, do we? No. We have a lot of them every year. Even now, in fact, there are even more who want to go into schools. There are no schools to take them. Okay, so the problem is, as they are graduating, where are you utilizing them? Secondly, do they have employable skills? So for me, it should be a holistic thing, okay, so that we go back to how it was after the white men left us and the 70s, the founding fathers. They had good, Azikiwe was there. Awolowo in fact introduced free education. They had good educational policies that influenced us till today. Even the vision of the core essence of forming the NYC by Decree 24 in 22nd of May 1973, part of it, have we achieved it? Self-discipline, self-reliance, patriotism, equitable distribution of skills, and so on. Are we more united or more divided?
So I'll come to you with a question, Mr. Temitope, but before then, those of us who have passed through NYC or who have observed, there's something called Said.
I wanted to say that. Yeah.
There's
I ran
something
away
called
from that
Said.
class to start with.
But you can agree with me that Said is just a scam.
Absolute scam.
It's a scam.
Okay.
Because when you bring skills, for instance, during my own time, Said was learning how to raise pigs and rabbits
Animal husbandry.
without giving me a rabbit to look after. You're giving me training for 3 weeks on how to take care of a rabbit or how to rear rabbits.
Francis, they didn't give you a rabbit. Check from your phone.
Very good.
Excuse me.
Take care.
So when you see the drama happening, I think the Nigerian government has lost touch with reality.
Absolutely.
Now let's take a mind back. Just last year, if my memory serves me right, is when the Minister of Education came out with the reforms in terms of overhauling our institutional educational curriculum. One would expect that if we want to do something as this with the NYC, we first would have to wait for the implementation of the educational
That's
laws.
right.
First?
To know that we are churning out the right kinds of minds before bringing this on board. Now we are talking about one of the key areas. They said, oh, at the end of the day, you are no longer having a passing out parade, but a professional ceremony. What kind of professional certificate or experience can one have with NYC Nigeria? Let's not forget that 99, or let me not exaggerate, 95% of people who go for NYC don't serve within their field of studies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's another challenge.
So how will somebody...
So you started banking, you're working.
You're working as a school teacher. So when will Nigerians not gain the experience to come out and be certified as professional? Now my question to you, you know, Nigeria is a country blessed with fine brains such as yourself within the educational sector and all the sectors. Has there been any time that the Ministry of Youth Development engaged stakeholders within the educational sector to say, look, we're looking towards changing the NYSC to align with the new educational reforms? What are your inputs?
Deep consultation.
Has there been any of such done before this announcement that we're seeing today?
And that's why I said, if you noticed, along the line of my statement, I said, somebody just sits down in the comfort of his room or his home. Someone suggests something to him, or maybe something that he conceives, a very nice idea, and then he works alone. He comes up with a blueprint. He pushes it.
Sure.
No consultation whatsoever. You cannot carry out such without consulting with people in that field. So at the end of the day, what you come up with will be half-baked, and that has been one of the major challenges in this country. It's a big challenge.
The devil's advocate.
Oh, no.
Because we do not know. Yes, because we may not know if they may have done some consultation. I want to believe.
If they did, it will show.
Now
It will show.
I am searched, I am searched, and I don't see that there has been any nationally announced consultation or stakeholders engagement.
If they ever did, it will show.
Behind closed doors.
They may have done
Well,
that.
it might be spiritual consultation.
For me, the loopholes
Yeah.
or the issues like we are pointing out, he's also pointing out, being in the field, it also begs the question and also indicates that more like what is required is fundamental, really grassroots. I think I heard the minister saying they have been consulting with some. Of course, they may reach out to a few persons, but like what we are saying is actually doing field work, field research.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Western world does. You don't just come up suddenly. They send people down to Ikubie, send people down to Asarama,
I hear you.
send people down to the creeks, send people down to where you have the what they call them, the nomads. Go down there, observe them, put down your findings, and then you come up with better solutions.
So,
in every product, as we are told professionally, you start with research, you continue with research, you end with research. That's the way you you respond realistically, because you mentioned you've lost touch. But when you depend on secondary data or secondary consultation. You consult a few friends. Commissioner, give me your this thing. You won't have
a commissioner that's not a professional.
Okay.
You won't have. It will be watery.
Let me say this very quickly. The thing you said, that is what it should be. But you see, these people do not have that time.
That's and it's costly.
Oh, listen.
Research is costly.
Listen.
Yeah.
They don't even have. It's not about the cost. It's that they don't have the time.
Okay.
See, listen. There's a
missions.
Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ. There's a high level of misplacement of priority.
Yeah.
Right? They are not giving attention to the things that actually need attention. They give attention to the things that fetch them. The things that serve their own interest.
Political goals.
Oh, so they do this shortcut thing. Okay? They don't do something very thorough. They're not holistic about what they do. I'm just saying the truth. That's it. So if you want to achieve, like you said, you know, go to the creeks, go this way, go. Even so, you need to work with people
on
in
ground.
the sector. Do you understand it?
But Mr. Temitakwe, I like to agree that NYC should be scrapped.
You should.
Because why I served during the... Is it? Okay. Let's not go there.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
They sent me
because I didn't want to go there too.
And because of the insurgency, we redeployed to Jigawa. From Jigawa, they say you have to go. And this other pandemic was here and it happened. But the question is, it's not serving its purpose.
It's not.
Corruption has taken over today when it comes
Absolutely.
to now,
At the highest level.
no, I need to be frank here because now, persons I had if you school in River State, you can serve in River State. But I saw people that schooled in River State, same school with me,
that's what I said.
serving in Port Harcourt, and I was redeployed to Bayelsa in Merengue with mosquitoes. You won't understand that. It's okay, but I also feel. This is not just about a reform. This is personal goal, like you said, reaching themselves. What will they gain if they scrap NYSC?
Yeah.
Will the money come to them? Is this reform authentic? Is it really reform or account reform? That is the question.
Okay, so I like that. Even though as an individual, sometimes you want to say certain things on TV, national TV or whatever quota. You try to be careful. As much as I'm trying to be careful, but then I also will speak as an Algerian, not just as an educator. The truth be told, if they take off the scheme entirely, okay, it will not serve them as much. That's why the reform.
Okay.
The reform is to ensure continuity in personal gains. Let me tell you the truth. There's a high level of malpractice, okay? I have said that every one of us here has mentioned one malpractice or another going on in the scheme.
True.
And these things are serving them. Some persons are getting richer. Some people are growing fat on the scheme. I'm telling you the truth. See, God help this country. And it's from the top. Leadership is our problem. Few words better said.
Okay.
All right.
About scrapping it.
Yeah.
Yes. I think thinking about it. If we scrap it, what do we lose?
What do we lose?
Because of the essence. Now, this is it. You just talked about something. You're posting people. This is it. As Mr. President, as governor, as local government chairman, would you like yourself, they post you to a local government where the environment is so harsh to you, your welfare is not well catered for. You go through hardship, difficulties, challenges that are avoidable. Is that the essence why you send people on national service? No. Israel does national service far better, far impactful.
But then it's voluntary.
Yes,
it's voluntary.
You go through And the reason is to imbibe the national values and secure self-defense conscious ability.
Can that happen?
Because they know that
because
they know that they don't have to the population is not many. They don't, it's not that they don't have many in terms of numbers. So they try to equip everybody with national values and then be defensive conscious. Okay. And you say they take care of you, they pay your salary, they pay your bills. How much do they pay you? They also increased from 33,000 to 77.
Even then it was 18,000.
Inflation.
Then
how often do you get it?
Feeding,
you understand? Health. And then you go through all the risk from security to road transport difficulty. I know even in some communities, like when I was in Eche, there were some areas we were using what they call it, well water. Okay. You have to walk trek like over 200 meters, 1 kilometer to Igodo to get water.
But the water was clean.
You understand?
But the water was clean. All right. Let's quickly go on a short break and we'll be right back. I'm gonna watch. Stay here.
Oh my goodness.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting everybody.
What's on your mind today? The goal by Victor Osimhen was amazing.
The economy. Isn't that what's on everybody's mind?
I would like to see more women in positions of authority. If you heard and saw it from CEMTV, you can take it to the bank. CEMTV, your reliable source of news, information, and entertainment.
The birthing of something new, African, Nigerian. Our vision is to become a leading and trusted television network in Africa and beyond, delivering credible news, inspiring stories, and engaging entertainment that informs, empowers, and connects communities. CEMTV, from Africa to the world.
And it's good to have you back. This is CEMTV Surgery. My name is Barrister Christian. I have Francis and I have Mr. M.I. and our guest, Mr. CEMTVPLUS. What one that short break? We had a lot of bad G's talking about Sahid and how they didn't give my brother man the rabbit to travel back to Ohio. I'm so sorry. Well, let's go over to you, M.I.
Okay, so basically, the welfare, how would you want to treat your child? Is it because you're serving the nation so you must suffer unduly, harshly, and die? No. Okay, so if that's what people are experiencing, there is no statement from government that will cover it. Go and experience it yourself. The truth be told, our children of our leaders are sent abroad. When they come in even, they still pamper them.
Are you?
I remember David went to that show.
I wanted to share that story.
He still, you know, but he was still
He was doing Dorime in camp.
He was still enjoying.
Now you can imagine.
You want to give some professional treatment.
Now Dorime in camp. Why you are meant to go to? Is it Tombo Market to go and buy?
How many
Come on now.
Even going far, Davido is a celebrity we know. While in camp,
he was enjoying first class.
There
life.
were people from the north, children from the north, students from the north, who did not show up for any activity. You saw them during the orientation exercise, the first day of orientation. The next time you saw them was a passing out parade.
Yeah.
If he's the son of one big man, who are you?
And then you stay through 1 year, you won't see them for 1 day in their place of primary assignment. But they have consistent clearance. And at the end of the day, the certificate is handed over to them. So
for me,
is that a system that we want? I mean, just speaking from you, I looked at some of the things, and I'm coming to you, Mr. Temitope.
Yeah.
In the whole idea, the whole concept of reform should first and foremost focus on the individual's welfare and well-being.
Of course, because if you are dead, who will post you?
Exactly. So I have looked at it. We talked about maybe the only thing that can give a little bit of relief that security considerations would be put into thought when posting core members, but I doubt. But then, I have not seen where the welfare package of core members is being put into consideration in line with today's reality. Because already there are conversations about changing the national minimum wage from 70,000 naira to something better. I have not seen that being factored into the conversation. I've not also seen the reforms that is needed. I think up until a friend of mine that went for NYSC just recently, we're still talking about bicycle allowance. In 2026.
Oh my God.
Bicycle allowance for people who are sitting in their respective offices enjoying millions of public funds to fuel their cars and even run their business.
Someone has, a contractor has to be paid now. Supplies have to, you understand, has to flow.
All right, let's move on.
Sorry, before we move on,
go ahead.
to protest that, you talk about the monetary aspect. Now, this reform is proposed to gulp about 2 billion naira in terms of the digital reforms, the skills, entrepreneurship. That money can be plowed into some other sector.
How can it be plowed into other sector when they have to enrich themselves?
That's what I'm saying. So please, for me, they can scrap it because there's no fantastic thing. Even in the posting, there came a point where posting was done by favoritism. Who do you, what you call the Godfather syndrome in Nigeria? Who do you know?
And it is still being done.
And some persons were posted to some juicy jobs, like oil companies, big jobs where before you finish and come, they have taken it in your own state.
Why are you sounding like this?
You understand?
I said I was posted to a merengue, mosquitoes. My friends were in Port Harcourt, oil company working, and the girl would say, small guy with big God. As if I'm not having the same goal.
Exactly.
This is corruption. It is the reality of the day.
So they should scrap it.
They should just scrap it. That's if the power that be.
They should focus on reforms in the actual education system, from the primary to the secondary to the university. That alone is enough. Whatever national values you want to teach it in the schools.
Exactly.
Okay. Now let me ask you, Mr. Temitope.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, if we want to talk reform, I will agree. If the reform is holistic, if there is sincerity, if there is transparency,
that's just the word
in the reform process. But do you think the Nigerian government is capable of effecting and implementing such reform?
That's another thing.
Aligning the Nigerian educational sector with individual skills and abilities and drawing that into the different industries that we have. Because whenever I speak with an educator, I have so many concerns. You know, if you go to countries like Australia, China, Asia, you find that courses are taught based on the things that they have and even things that they don't have. I've never seen anybody in Nigeria as a Nigerian study mining as a course.
Yeah, you wouldn't see.
I've not seen it.
You wouldn't
But
see.
we are blessed with numerous mineral resources. I've not seen. Okay, we've heard petrochemical engineering.
Yes, petrochemical engineering.
But we don't see them. If you go to the companies, how many petrochemical engineers are Nigerians?
How will you see it when they are going to bring professionals?
They do soil
and that they
science.
have their
I don't know
quota
whether
at the end
mine
of the
from that
day?
soil science.
No, it's from the curriculum building. Okay,
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's from the curriculum building. You know, some courses, you know, like in the instance of mining, all right, there are courses that allow you, you know, to go into such. You don't read it as a course in school. Do you understand? So, I, to a very reasonable extent, will also fault the education sector. And it is not exactly just the handlers of our education system.
Okay.
It still boils down to the government. How the government creates and gives them the premise to work. Again, I'm sorry but not sorry.
All right.
The Nigerian system, all right, at the highest level,
All right.
corruption has a very strong grip. And that's why we struggle to achieve a lot of things. So in building the curriculum, there should be an absolute work done that will allow for certain, you know, skills to be acquired. Now they're shifting from just regular, you know, that's why they introduced the, you know, the reforms in the curriculum to go from just a regular curriculum to skill acquisition. Okay, you have to learn skill. So now the scheme is being designed in the way that it allows learners, okay, to learn the basic skills that would allow for stronger entrepreneurship system as they graduate, as they come out from school. Too much of practicals, too much of it. I mean, too much of theory. Now, somebody is in school. You're in school. You're learning this. You're learning that. At the end of the day, you graduate. Tell me the reality of somebody who read law. You read law. You went to law school, but you're heading a radio station.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Nigeria.
You're heading a radio station. And then somebody will, I mean, why wouldn't you just go and practice in the very area that you were trained or that you were schooled for? So, if the government will give the right priority to those people who handle our education system to build our curriculum, our syllables like it should be built, to meet the standard. There's something called international best practice, okay? To meet that level, Nigeria will go from where we are to where we desire to be.
All right, thank you very much. It's time. Let's move over to still on education sector, Mr. Temitokwe, where the system has been reformed from JSS to SSS. We know that JSS is junior secondary school, senior secondary school. But now, the reason of the reform coming, they need to merge all of this into one and make it shorter and make it interesting for people to go to school. Well, my question is not people to go to school. After school, what next? Do you think is a right and a step direction to merge all of this together?
Yes, it is. From what they put out there.
Okay.
All right. It has a very, it's a very beautiful initiative again.
Okay.
But the question is, can it be sustained? Right? It's not about creating policies. It's about implementing them. Right? It boils down to implementation. Now, the system is not 6334. No. All right. What we're currently running is 934. Right? 9 years. Okay. Of junior primary to junior secondary, and then 3 years of senior secondary, 4 years of the university.
Yeah.
Right? Now they're saying reform it to 12-4. 12-4 means 6 years in the primary,
Okay.
6 in the secondary, that gives it the 12, and then 4 years in the university. Now the 12 years is to encourage or strengthen uninterrupted learning process. 12 years, discontinuity for 12 years, you're not awarded yet until after 12 years.
Okay.
Unlike 6 years, primary, 3 years, junior, and then 3 years, senior, and then 4 years in the university. So there's interruption in the learning process. So they're saying, take off these interruptions. Make it 12 years of uninterrupted learning.
Stretch.
Yes. That what it will encourage is, it will encourage continuity. It will discourage dropping out. But again, that is not exactly so. There are other factors that can lead to, the dropout of school situation.
Now hold that thought before you continue. When you say encourage continuity, I'll get tired. Going to school for 12 years. What is going on? Because people are going to break.
So the idea is, if you're in school for 12 years, before you get certified or awarded, you know what that is. So you will tarry longer, you will stay longer, you will want to endure. It's like a woman in labor. A woman gets pregnant. I mean, apart from, premature, instances, the baby is supposed to be there for 9 months. And as a pregnant woman, you're expecting to have a child. You would wait until the 9 months.
Facts.
Whatever it's going to take you, 9 months you will wait. And you're expectant. You're expectant. You know that at the end of 9 months, you will come forth with your bundle of joy, isn't that? So 12 years will encourage you to stay on until you are certified or you are awarded. So you will not want to chicken out. You won't want to get out of a system. That's what they said. But that's not exactly so. Because anything can happen. There are other factors that can lead to a dropout of school scenario situation.
Okay.
So 12 years of uninterrupted learning, which is good, if it will be followed through. Then 4 years in the unis, which is beautiful. So after 12 years, you come out and then you've covered a particular, you understand, a particular scope, which is in itself dependent. You can depend on it. You can even go out there and get a job with it. That's the framework. Yes.
Okay.
That's the spirit of the framework. That after 12 years, you'd have been self-sustained enough in knowledge to go out there, get a job with it, right? Forgetting that many of them, their children are not schooling here.
Okay.
The children are getting foreign education. They're out there,
and it's easier
in developed nations. And I hate to say that this country is developed. Yes, we're doing well, but we're still a developing nation. So there are a lot of things to put into consideration. If you bring this kind of scheme in a Western country or in a developed nation, it will work.
Acceptable.
It will work. But it can't fly here.
I have a question before I let my other colleague take over. 12 years, continue to be patient. Don't forget the fact that some parents can't even send their children to school. They'll say, after primary school, you're just going to help me do my business.
That's why I said there are other factors.
Years, you go back to school. Now, if you're giving them 12 years at stretch, what will happen to people that can afford education for that long, continually?
That's it. So there are other factors which they have not put into consideration. You and I know that the educational bodies who are giving credibility to our educational system in this country, let's not lie, they're private educational systems.
And that's where the problem is.
Private schools are the ones who are giving credibility, who are giving our educational system a face. The government schools, how far? How far with the government schools?
It therefore means we need to go back to the drawing board, because my dad will say I passed standard 6 and I'm working. Yes, let's bring that home. Just a secondary school leaver will have a good job because they had a good curriculum. I don't think it has changed. I mean, the degree was respectful, that certificate, but it's being watered down now. You can't compare it.
They buy it now.
It's being watered down now.
They buy certificates now.
Okay, so I have a question and I have concerns. 12 years, it's laughable.
It's such a long time, brother.
It's not just about the longness of time, but also the different challenges that we will face. And I'll ask directly, as a professional in this field, do you think this is going to change the narrative for Nigerian students who are in the process of learning? And I ask that question because we're looking at 12 years. 12 years of no grading, which means we have eliminated the primary school's first school living certificate. Not like we were using the junior secondary school exams certificate for anything, but we've eliminated that as well. So we are just left with one certificate at the end of the 12 years. All of this is geared towards ensuring that before you finish school and gain access into the university, you must have at least been 18 years. They say 16, but 12 plus 4 is how many? It's 16 years.
It's still 16.
And there is no child who will just be given birth to and start school immediately.
Don't forget that you don't get into school until you're 2.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Temitope, before
even
you
if you
answer
do,
that, let's just go on a short break. Come on, right back. Okay, stay here, don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
This is CEMTV. Reliable news and entertainment.
Is it time? I can't wait to see it.
Voice of the people, stories that matter.
Oh wow!
Truth in every moment, now and forever. Across every border, across every land, we form, we empower, together we stand. From Africa to the world, connecting every voice.
And it's good to have you back. Before we went on the short break, we're talking about junior secondary school and senior secondary school reform, matching it to 12 years. And Mr. Temitope is here to do justice to that. Over to you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, so the 12 years is to allow for uninterrupted learning. And uninterrupted because 6 years as what we're currently running, right? We're running 9-3-4. That's 6 years in primary, 3 years in junior secondary
school.
That's 3 plus 6.
That's
9.
That's 9 years.
And then 3 years in senior secondary, and then 4 years in the unis. So now they're proposing 12-4. The 12 is 6 years in primary school, 6 years in secondary as a plus. You add them together to make 12, and then 4 years in the university. So that period is a period of uninterrupted learning before you get certified, before you get awarded, right? And then the idea is that at that level you would have acquired the basic knowledge,
Okay.
right? And that basic knowledge is in itself self-sustained. It's sustained in itself. You can go into the job market with it because you've learned basic skills. So you will not at any time be insufficient or deficient in knowledge. You can at that point get a job, right? And then 4 years if you wish to push through, if you wish. But for 12 years of uninterrupted learning,
Stretch.
you should have been grounded. That is the idea behind this reforms that they are pushing. It's good, but again, it's not about creating formulating policies is about implementation. Can these policies be implemented? Will there be continuity? This government comes in, that government leaves. If they're not of the same political,
background.
There is discontinuity.
One will want to push. Do you understand it? So these are some of the challenges that it's going to face. There will be challenges, basically. If you ask me, it's a good idea.
But tell me to clear, I still have concerns.
Of course, there always be concerns.
When you say yes, it might be good if you look at it from a different perspective. But let's be realistic. Already in Nigeria, you find schools are created in a nursery/primary, and then you have secondary, and then you have the tertiary institutions. If we're now proposing that we have 12 years stretch of learning before someone gets certified, I'm bothered about removing the transition process. The exams, for instance, first school living certificates that allow somebody to now gain access to secondary school. So what is the structure doing? What are the perimeters put in place to ensure seamless transitioning from primary to secondary, where somebody will now get, or a child will now get to be awarded the first certificate at the end of the 12 years? That's question number one. My second concern, today in Nigeria, when you take your WAEC certificate and leave Nigeria, you can gain admission into any university in the world. But in Nigeria, you have to write JAM.
Aptitude test.
You will have to write post-UTME, which is we all know as aptitude test. And then on top of all these exams, you're paying money for each and every one of them.
To sign
so
papers.
It becomes an avenue to further pressure Nigerians. What parameters is being put in place to ensure that when my child finishes primary 6 and is supposed to get into JS1, and the school that my child went to does not have a secondary facility, because I know the private sectors, most private institutions, they have nursery, primary, and secondary these days. But the government schools is either primary and then you have secondary. So what modalities are we putting in place in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the transitioning process to ensure that there is seamless transition? And Nigerian parents, with all of the multi-dimensional poverty that we are experiencing in this country, will not be further pressured into depression.
12 years.
That's my concern.
Okay, so there are plenty of concerns. That's the truth. As a country, you know that anything government policy on education is usually directed at government schools. Private schools, even though there are regulatory bodies, regulate the activities of private schools and government schools. They unify the activities. But private schools are still, I'm not fronting private schools. Right?
Go ahead.
I'm not fronting private schools. But I'm still saying this, that private schools, to an extent, give Nigerian educational system a face and a level of credibility. The government schools, again, how far? So when these people in government sit down to create policies, these policies, the private schools have a way. The questions you ask, the modalities in place to ensure that all of these things are, the private schools, I can tell you, they have a way. They have a way to ensure. Because in the private educational system, of course, you have these days, and I have daycare.
Yeah, they do.
Right? As a busy parent, a busy mom, you work in the bank, you can just afford to drop off your child in the daycare. In a school. Schools now have it. Before it was private individuals now that have it before, but now schools now, yes, they've integrated, they've internalized it, so they now have it. So you can have your child in a daycare, and then from the daycare you now have the play class, right? And then you have the kindergarten, right? These are preschoolers, early school, and then you now have the primary school proper, and then up until secondary. Private schools are doing well. I won't lie. But the schools that we should be looking at,
The government school.
government schools, they create the policies, but the government schools suffer a setback from the policies that they create. So if you ask me the question, me too, I should look for them and ask them.
But then I'll...
Because I cannot answer I'll look for them and ask them, what have you put in place? What modalities are in place to ensure that certain things are checked, and then, you know, we can achieve these things that we have set out. I will ask them the same, because I cannot give an answer to it.
So why did we miss out?
Where we missed out?
Yes, because why I'm asking this, my grandpa will tell you I passed standard 6, very important, and he's brilliant, sound mind, and I believe then the 70s, 60s, 50s, there were no private primary school, were there? No private nursery school. It was all government school.
At that time, the government that we have now, is it the same government we had?
So which means they came and they polluted it, because if we had gone by
high level of pollution,
if we had gone by that standard, there would have been no need for private school.
There still would have been a need, because we have more people going to school now.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So to bridge that gap, and then to be able to have the services go around.
But then
the government alone cannot do that.
Done. Okay.
But the question we should be asking is, let the government strengthen the private school system. I mean the government school system. Make it more efficient. Give everything it needs to give. Funding is a problem. Do you know how fast these politicians are growing? Yet our educational system are underfunded.
And we have Minister of Education.
Which minister? I cry. This country is bleeding, I swear. Permit me on TV to say I swear. Because of the inefficiency of the people in power. Private interest. Do you know the kind of investment some of these people in government have? One person.
Name it.
One person. If you know his property just in River State here, the things that he has.
Okay.
The things that he... did I mention anybody's name?
Did I say anything?
I didn't mention... Okay. The things that he has. One person. And yet go and see our government schools.
Okay, let's talk about educational standards. The international... I looked up about 10 countries, top countries, and they adopt the PISA and the TISM. And I'll read just maybe one or two countries for you and ask before I ask you the question. Like China, they have deep practice and mastery focus. And part of their best practice is a concept they call Jichu, which means strong foundational basics in maths, science, literacy by grade 6. Then they tiered specialization in senior high. They have hands-on, which they call Gaokao. It means theory heavy but vocational schools.
Yeah.
And they capture it made in China concept. So that made in China that they sell to the world as their ideology and philosophy in terms of industrial production, like I told you, is connected to their schools, because the schools are like the breeding grounds.
Of course.
It's like if you grow fish, that's what they call fingerlings. You must have sections of the growth of the fish to be able to sell the output. If you don't maintain the process of growth, your output will be affected.
Exactly.
And that's what China is doing.
Yeah.
So before they say made in China, which the whole world is buying, including Nigeria, and we are borrowing money from them, it's the schools. So they say in terms of output, they focus on ruthless standard and teacher accountability, root learning. It's they play less on root learning. They focus on teacher accountability and teacher training. They train their teachers. They have over 240 hours of training of their teachers, according to ranks. Now let's go to Singapore. They have a concept called teach less, learn more, and streaming with flexibility. as part of that best practice, the curriculum is reduced by 20% as of 2005 to make room for inquiry, which is like research. They focus on quote unquote 21st century competencies in terms of critical thinking and collaboration, which is solving your problem. I've said it here, need, want and demand is money. How do you make the money? It's critical thinking.
Exactly.
And you engage them from schools to be able to know how to solve problems. Now, in terms of hands-on, they believe in project work and they make it compulsory from primary. They also adopt the STEM, which is the science, technical and mathematics, engineering and mathematics. They also adopt applied learning programs, and every school partners with polytechnics, labs, and companies. This is something I said here. You must relate your schools with the industry.
Exactly.
Because the schools brings out the byproducts that feed the industry that solve the problem for society. So anywhere we see our problems lingering in society,
It's coming from the school.
from the schools.
Yeah, exactly.
Why we are poor, so much poverty in the land, where we are
Education
blessed with
sector.
brain, human resources, over 240 million people, the schools.
Exactly.
So I'm going to ask you, as a specialist in that sector, what should they consider in redesigning our curriculum, our syllabus, our scheme of work, and so on, down to the to improve the teacher-learner experience? When I'm also part of your field.
Yeah, I know.
When I went to teacher education, they told us we're now in an era of active students, passive teacher, which meant before that it was the converse was the case.
Yeah.
Where the teacher comes, we had active teachers. Until today is still the case. Something they had changed from.
It's still the case.
So
It's still
the teacher
case
that has
where-
gone to study, read, will come and pour it on the pupils. You already know. So you come to the class, you're quoting, you're blabbing, you're giving lines, you're giving facts, your theories.
I know.
Nothing enters the child. Like what you said, they'll teach you how to rear rabbits, but all in theory. You understand?
Not practical.
So how do we get these guys to understand? Because and time was to when I also saw supervisors that came, and if they came to see you teach, where you needed to use like teaching aids to practicalize and give the pupils. Oh God, where are those days? They will come to if they are teaching you any subject that required teaching aid, and the pupils are not doing practicals. They will query you, the teacher. Where are they today? So how should we design and implement? Because in terms of design, I'll tell you, we may have fantastic. Now they are doing reforms. This committee is doing the reform. We have allowance.
No, there's a reform and a reform.
Allowance. So our money is already being spent.
Yes.
They will design it. They will present to Mr. President. They will address the whole world and Nigerians. We now have a new reform policy. But in terms of supervising the application down and sustaining it. So please, what should tell us from your experience? What should they factor in designing this thing so that at the end of the day, like these two companies I've told you, they are doing well.
Yeah.
Why? Because they focus on practicals from the grassroots.
Okay, so you said it already. I'll just reiterate what you said. You know, what these industrialized countries, developed nations of the world, the likes of China and the rest of them, what they do is they look at the need of the society, right?
Beautiful. Yeah.
They look at the need, they identify those needs, and then they come back to the educational system, right? And that's what informs the schemes, the curriculum, the syllabus. And that's what they go into the schools with, equip the learners, and then once they are out of school, they get into the industry, get into the sectors, and then they begin to take up all of this. So before you can create any curriculum of learning, identify the need in the society.
Beautiful.
Now they're beginning to see that yes, vocation is a problem. You have people who are graduating from schools and there are no They don't get as much employment.
Computer scientists, you cannot manufacture.
Let me ask.
They don't get as much employment.
Let me ask.
Do you know the number of graduates that we turn out every year?
Every year. Engineers and this, engineers and
there are no jobs.
Now let me ask you, do you think we'll ever get it right?
Yes, we can.
And I'm asking because when we're talking about getting it right, it's about not just the curriculum, it's not just about the paperwork, it's about the policies to strengthen the efficiency.
Exactly.
Presently in Nigeria, we have HND BSc dichotomy. There was a moment in Nigeria where the government came out to say, look, the product from polytechnics are far better than what is coming out from universities.
Yeah, in terms of practicals.
In terms of practicals.
Yeah.
But who was getting the bigger paychecks?
Oh, of course.
And who are they still getting the bigger paychecks? So tell me, why will people want to go and focus on getting the relevant skill set when some novice will sit down and direct you who has the knowledge and is getting a bigger paycheck? Tell me, who doesn't want to get the bigger paycheck? So how will we now be able to achieve what we are targeting?
As regards the question, can we achieve it? Yes, we can. It takes a conscious, very intentional government, people who mean well for the country. Let's not lie. We have accidental public servants, people who are there not because they merit it, not because they have good intentions. They are there because somehow they wriggle their way. They wriggle their way through, and they are there. And they are the ones, they are the spoilers. Oh my goodness, they are the spoilers. They are the ones, listen, if we have people like you, like of course Mr. M.I., like you, very intentional, very sincere, you want the good of this nation, right? If we have people like you in government, we will do a lot better. The system is corrupt. And the grip is so much. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. That's the truth. It won't stop anytime soon. It's not going to stop anytime soon.
I agree. Sorry, please. Just 1 minute. See, when the question is asking, I just agree on what he said. See, time was, they came up with polytechnics, they came up with the technical schools. They had good intentions. So that people will have hands-on. And initially it was working. But what happened? Politicians handing over baton. And that's where I agree with you. When politicians come in, one of our guests said it here, politicians, I plead with you, you must separate politicking from governance. Legislators, you are protecting the people. You must ensure sustainability, which is transgenerational transfer of the values, reviews, and upgrade.
That's right.
In terms of the challenge we have society, it is our legislators. They're not you and I are not there, like he's saying.
Well, they are legislators, but not our legislators.
So they should not go there and play loyalty because whoever recommended to be. No, you are there to sustain the society from generation to generation.
Exactly.
So if they separate this, that's why you see the up and down. This person comes, they take the value up. Like now we are saying reform. Maybe a good leadership comes, they take it up, and that politician comes, they forget about it.
Exactly.
So it dies.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move over to Osun State, where military invasion of Osun Varsity Hostel.
And we are truly wounded. As a father, as a Nigerian, as a father, as a Nigerian, I would say you should continue this for a whole day. Let the state, I don't mean Osun State, I mean the federal government of Nigeria, know that the people we have recruited to protect us have turned around to become our enemy. The people we have recruited to help us to safeguard our society have become threats to our peace as a people. The people we are supposed to call upon when we are under security threat have actually themselves become security threats against us. Yes, sir. This is not acceptable in any nation. Yes, sir. And it should not be acceptable in our university. Yes, sir. And should not be acceptable in Osogbo and in Osun State. Yes, sir. Therefore, the military top echelon has reached out to us. They actually came to campus this morning. 5 of the soldiers have been arrested.
Good. Yes. Good.
Five of them have been apprehended. We note that they raped our students.
Yes.
Yes, and that is a professor, beg your pardon, yes, counselor coming from Osun State. I love to read this. A female student of Osun State University, identified simply as Miss Ademola, has recounted her ordeal after soldiers from the army Depot Oshogbo, Osun State, allegedly invaded student hostel and assaulted resident on Monday. And that was a video that was just, brought to us from the studio. But I'd love to ask, reform, education, 12 years, but no safety, no security. Where are we leading? Where are we headed?
So it boils down to the same thing. I said time and time again that corruption is a factor. It has a grip. The military is, an arm or a system that is meant to secure, to protect, right? But see what the military is not doing. There's corruption in the military. We take it or we leave it. The military also needs reform. In fact, at the highest level. If in the worst case scenario, they will deny. They will say, oh, we're not the ones. Some imposters did that. Because this has been happening. They just got uniforms to wear, and then the soldiers will not have to prove themselves that they're actually soldiers. They will hand them over to themselves. They will deny them. The military hierarchy will deny them. Yes, they'll say, no, they're not soldiers. Those ones will have to prove that they're actually soldiers. But thank God, you heard the
vice chancellor.
Yeah, he said they've arrested some of them. So, but let's wait what will come out of it. Why? So we need reforms at every facet of the economy of this country. Even in church, we need reform. I'm sorry, but no, sorry.
No.
But we need reform.
But this is the reality.
Yeah.
This is the truth. Because
we need reforms across board.
Is goodness me.
Okay, all right. Now, the last one before we call it a shot. I love us to take a video coming from Pastor Adeboye. When it comes to even the church reform, don't forget the children are still in captive and the teachers till date. No rescue mission. But yeah,
kidnap politicians and see what will happen.
All right.
The next day they'll come out.
Let's have the video play, please.
Please be seated. God is good all the time. A sister here told us a story about some children who are living in a place where it was always winter. And they kept on saying, who was it that was moving? Aslan. Okay. That story is prophetic because God is moving in Nigeria. Amen. Because of what was going on when the pain became almost unbearable. And some people were accusing me of being quiet at a time when I should be talking. I was compelled to cry unto God because we have been fasting, we have been praying for a particular group of school children that were captured, and the kidnappers felt that the government was not reacting fast enough, to give them the money they asked for. They slaughtered their teacher and showed the video to the rest of the world. And then some people began to speak, challenging those of us who said we have been praying. They said, you have fasted, you have prayed. Where is your God? So I went to the Lord in prayer, in deep agony. So I said, Father, you've had them. He said, where is our God? Answer them now. And then God spoke to me, told me that as for the release of the children, it's going to be dramatic. He didn't tell me the time or the details. And then he told me that.
And there you have it. The General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, said he believed that the release of the school children and teachers is going to be dramatic. Now, I'm bringing it to you, Mr. Temitope, but you say corruption is everywhere.
Everywhere.
What's your take? This was the same person that canvassed against the other president that's no longer in seat, Jonathan, saying you must go. Insecurity, left, right, center, they came all out. But now, it's the turn for a man of God to come out and do what is right. Not forgetting the fact that the first lady, beg your pardon, is a pastor in one of the reading branches. So people feel for this reason he can't even say anything. Now, officially coming out, all he cared to say is he had a revelation that the children will be released dramatically. What does that say for the body of Christ?
Okay, so I won't pick on persons right now. Yeah. I would rather pick on the issue. Yes, saying the dramatic release of the children. This, from the way they were kidnapped, is already drama in itself.
Yeah.
How the teacher was beheaded is already drama in itself. How that was showed to the whole world is drama. How the government has not been able to secure the release is drama. And the drama is still on. So yes, one would expect that their release is going to be dramatic. As for who is saying and who is not saying anything, I won't pick on persons. Yes, that's why I said we need reforms, even in church. And the reforms are already going on. I mean, God will save this country. Because these children, the government of the state involved said they've been able to track the location. And they give the parameter, like within this place or that place. But where exactly? And then they say, yeah, it's politics. Is some oh, come on. All of those things are not going to release or secure the release of the children. The government needs to do more instead of private interest. These children in civilized nations of the world, you saw how the Prime Minister of the UK, I mean, you saw, they would tender their resignation.
Honorably.
But here, one person said he won't bow out. He will not chicken out. That he knows his politics and that he's prepared. What does that tell you? Self-interest at the highest level.
And that's why I have to ask you this question. Reform education sector, 12 years stretch, but yet there's no security for the same Nigerian student. How do we better this? How do we go out of this phase in our country?
We just need a better government. We need people who are sincere. We need people who are ready to serve. We need people who would have the interest of the Nigerian people at heart. It's not about your personal gain. Because what you see here, these servants, in quote, they call themselves servants, but they're not. They're serving themselves. Are they go after their own interest. One person is having as much investment everywhere. In one state, one person see his investment everywhere. Yet children have been kidnapped for just how long? They've not been able to secure the release. We need people who are sincere. And then it comes down to the electorate, the people who are going to vote. Well, it's been said that our votes don't count anymore. That's true.
It does.
There's corruption everywhere. The corruption has a grip, and the grip is so strong. This country needs a complete sanitation, and that only God can do through people like myself, Mr. MI, and you. People who are intentional, people who are true, people who are willing to serve, people who will champion the cause of a better Nigeria, not people who are self-seeking.
All right, over to you, MI. What's your take on that video?
Okay, so I humbly accept the compliment of our guests.
Okay.
Now, I'll say two things. One, biblically speaking, everybody is responsible and accountable for themselves.
That's right.
And the Almighty will judge you personally.
I hear you.
Number two, rather than focus on blaming God and the worshippers of God for the irresponsibility of a leadership, I think we should do the reverse. Even in Israel, where our Lord Jesus Christ was born, they pray more than us. While I was there, I went to their synagogue. Every minute, somebody's praying. You see them. They open their big scrolls.
Yeah.
They pray every day. The same time, get to their factories, get to their government, get to their industries. They are thinking strategically, and they are reacting proactively. That's why they're taking the world by storm.
Yeah.
So what we should do, security is the responsibility of leadership. Leadership should sit down sincerely and ask yourself, where did we miss it? That simple truth. One mark of leadership is to tell yourself the truth. Where did we miss it as a country? If Israel can do it, if China can do it, if America can do it, are they spirits or are they human beings? Do they have two heads? They are human beings.
Exactly.
Where did we miss it? And then face those issues sincerely. Absorb yourself, absorb your friends, your brothers, your connections. It's about this country. Because remember, everybody will come, play their part, and go. The world is a stage. We are the dramatis persona. We come, we perform, we bow out. What will you be remembered for? Today we're talking about Awolowo, introduced free education. We're talking about Zeke, the National Foundation, Herbert Macaulay. They had Atafa Balewa. They had good intentions when they said, the white man, leave us alone to manage ourselves. Not for people to come and play this kind of abuse of politics.
Exactly.
I think it might.
And it's affecting everything.
I know. All right, Francis. I'd like to take your take on this.
God will not do for man what he has blessed man.
QED.
That's right. That's
QED.
For
right.
himself.
I agree.
The problem of Nigeria is the problem of leadership. The problem of leadership is the problem of corruption. Our votes can only count if we can tell ourselves and take the decision to vote for people we know they have the character, they have the ability, they have the historical records to back whatever promises they're making. But when we fail, because we believe that our votes will not count, and we allow criminals access into the kingdom or the corridors of power, like the Bible has said, when the wicked man is in power, the people will suffer. So you and I will continue to suffer until we decide to use our head.
I'm exonerated.
What's your parting word, please? In 10 seconds, as we call it.
Yes, like I said, certificates alone won't put food on your table.
That's right.
It's results.
Exactly.
Let's shift from just input to focus on output. What are we coming out with? Results, skills. Let's see results.
All right, skills and results, Mr. Temitakwe. 10 seconds.
Yeah, so I'll leave you all with this. We're Nigerians. This is our only country. We do not have another country. Nigeria can only become better if you and I do what is right. It starts from you in your little space, in your corner. Do what is right at the level that you do what whatever you do. We sure will have a better Nigeria.
Thank you. Francis?
Let your life be a living example of what you want to see in Nigeria.
And I'll tell you this morning before we call it a wrap that Nigeria is in your hands, not unstable. And this is CEMTV, where we'll bring the world and Nigeria to your doorstep. My name is Bariswa Christian Wiga. Good morning.
This is CEMTV, reliable news and entertainment.